Today's guest is a businesswoman, star of Dragon's Den and self-confessed queen of crafting. But later this month, she is swapping the boardroom for the experience of a lifetime. Here to tell us more, she's a great friend of the show. Please welcome Sara Davies.
Just as scary as we do when they come out the lift doors, I promise.
I think last time you were on, we didn't have the sliding door, did we?
Very fancy.
You like it?
Oh, yes. It is a bit den-like, though, coming out of the lift doors.
Yeah. Is that
It's
how
just
you
we
feel?
look at the back of your heads here, as opposed to...
Do you feel like you're facing the dragons with us?
Yeah.
That must be so nerve-wracking.
You definitely look as scary as Deborah and Peter, I have to say. Yeah, not as scary as Stephen, mind.
Listen, talking of scary, this trek that you're doing, which we'll talk about in the moment, because there's a very special reason you're doing. But first, let's talk about Amy, because it's today that's been announced. It was in the paper. She put it on her Instagram yesterday that she has now pulled out of Strictly completely, which is a great shame. Have you spoken to her? How is she?
I've tried reaching out to her, and I know from experience when these things happen, and I mean she's had a lot of these things happen, God love her, with the Crohn's and then with everything with the cancer and the chemo and then everything that happened with her foot, she just goes into herself, and I know she'll be in a heap on the couch, utterly beyond devastated.
Well, she said, it was quite a long statement she put on her Instagram, but part of that, she said, my heart right now is breaking, having to pull out of the competition due to a foot injury. And I know only too well, this too shall pass, and I will soon be better and back dancing. And I know that you were very instrumental, actually, when she was diagnosed, of getting her to take up the chemo, because she was so concerned about leaving Strictly, letting people down. What was it you said to her that changed her mind, do you think?
The thing with Amy is, Strictly is her life. It's not a job to her, it's her passion, dancing's her life, and she lives for that time on Strictly, and, you know, taking a celebrity through that journey, and to have it pulled away from her was devastating for last year. And I remember having to sit her down as that friend that kind of has to give you the tough love and say, Amy, I know it's your life, but it's not going anywhere. It'll be there next year. You need to put your health first. You need to go through the chemo. You need to get better, and then you can go and give Strictly your all. And so she was I got her teed up feeling, right, I can do this. I'm just going to give it my all, getting better this year, because next year I can do Strictly. And then there she was, and you see her every week having the time of her life. She leaves her heart on that dance floor, and then a foot injury. I mean, what's
so unfair,
it's so unfair. Life's unfair, though, isn't it?
It is, but then, so you're involved, you're doing this amazing thing on Saturday, aren't you? Which is joined up with Cancer Copperfield, is it?
Yes, so it's Amy that actually got me involved. So the year I did Strictly, I danced with Tom Fletcher. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I was on the show. That would have been nice, wouldn't it?
That was
in my dreams.
Yeah.
But Amy danced with Tom, and that's how I became friends with Amy. And she became involved with the charity. And so it's all about, I think people just assume that, oh, breast cancer is for older women. We don't need to worry about it till we're a bit older. And Chris, who founded the charity, she was in her 20s when she got breast cancer. So it's all about encouraging women, check your boobs, have a good feel about.
Tom's wife, Giovanni.
It's Tom's wife,
Who then got you involved.
Well, she got Amy involved. Amy got me involved. And it was through doing the trek that Amy checked her chest. And it was through that she found the lump, that she had the early diagnosis, which means she's been able to go through the treatment. So I just think the whole point of this charity is we're getting people to check the boobs. You go home tonight, check your boobs, Colin, check your boobs. Check your boobs, everyone. Yes.
So tell us about the trek then and what you're doing, because it sounds like so much fun, but also hard.
So sometimes ignorance is bliss. So I've really focused on the fun and not so much on how hard it's going to be.
We haven't said where you're going yet.
So I'm going to the Himalayas, and we're doing a 4-day trek, trekking 9 hours a day.
No, that's not
with
fun.
120 women.
No.
120 women.
120. So who are all either, you know, they've got over breast cancer, or they're still fighting breast cancer, or they have family friends. Just to try and raise money and try and raise awareness to people to check your boobs. You'll be checking your boobs tonight, Ruth, won't you?
100%.
That's a lot of people on one track.
That's a lot of people.
How many people are going to be in your tent?
It's not the tent I'm worried about. Apparently you have to go on a sleeper train to get up into the mountains.
I've trekked in the Himalayas.
Have you?
I've trekked in the Himalayas. I did quite a long trek, 2.5 weeks. But
2.5 weeks?
But when I discovered I have to dig the toilet trench and do the thing in it.
Janet?
I was so constipated. I just managed to hold it in.
For 2.5 weeks?
Yes.
You're not selling it to me.
A good
You
life.
are not selling it to me,
The
Janet.
scenery is amazing.
Oh, yes.
The scenery
send me
is
a picture.
absolutely amazing.
But also, you have been on a real kind of keep fit. Running. I know you did Couch to 5K, so you and I have talked about it because I've tried it. I didn't get the running bug like you have. But so, do you feel prepared for this because you've been keeping up your fitness?
I mean, it's a big year for me. I turned 40 earlier this year, and I was determined that I was going to be fit at 40. And I don't want to be skinny, or I just want to be fit and healthy and run around after me kids. And, you know, I had gestational diabetes in both my pregnancies, so I know I'm at high risk of type 2. And the doctor gave me a little bit of a kick up the behind last year, and she said, Sarah, you really need to shed some of that weight. You need to get on top of this. And so it was the reality check that I needed. And so I set myself a target, and I was going to run the Great North Run. And so I trained all year. And actually, it's not about what the scales say, because we were discussing this back then. I actually weigh more than I did in January. But this muscle, I'm like this new woman that's got all these muscles.
And you cut out sugar completely.
Yeah. So that was a bit miserable. Yeah. Because people say, oh, cut out sugar, and you think, well, I'll stop having the chocolate cake. No, it's the alcohol. It's the sugar in the wine. Oh, I had to give up the wine.
It's interesting because I was reading the brief about you getting fit and talking about your body, but you were saying, even though you are fitter and all that, you still are quite insecure about your body, aren't you?
Oh, we'll never be happy, will we not? You know, it's like, I've just been on holiday with the kids back end of last week, and I put a bikini, the first time in 20 years I've worn a bikini, and I've still got these big stretch marks. The kids were like, what's them funny lines on your tummy, Mummy? I said, I earned those, this tiger earned those stripes, kids. They're never going to go in, it's all a bit wobbly still, and you're never going to be happy, but you've got to just embrace what you've got, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I've got to ask you something about the C word. Christmas. Because when you were last on, you admitted you had 5 Christmas trees up in your house. Now, what's the date today? November the 5th? Mm-hmm. Have you got any up?
Would you be disappointed in me if I said I did?
I wouldn't.
Not all 5, but I've got 2 of them up.
Oh, good for you.
Well, do you know what? I've got a lot of crafting I have to teach everybody before Christmas. So I figured we have to, this was me yesterday, that I have to start yesterday teaching everybody all the different crafts I've got for Christmas. If we're going to go one a day from now to Christmas, I'm still not going to get to show you everything I want to. So I thought my house is going to look a bit boring if I'm doing all this Christmas crafting and it's not Christmassy. So we've got Christmassy.
Trek, it'll all be done.
Yeah,
exactly.
You set off on Saturday?
Saturday, yes.
OK, good luck to you and everybody who's doing this trek for Copperfield Charity. It's fantastic what you're doing. And Amy, if you're watching, we're sending you so much love and we're so sorry you've had to pull out of Strictly.
Sara Davies, everybody.